Hey guys, there's a lot to get through on this Mary Poppins inspired cake, so let's jump straight in. The bottom tier is a 7-inch round, pre-covered and stuck to a drum. Check the description box below for all the basic tutorials and everything I use in this video. To make our own lime green, I'm first putting yellow airbrush colour into my gun, which looks like this. Then adding a few drops of the green, give it a spray until you see it change to lime green. Cover your whole cake in this and let it dry. Whilst we are waiting, grab some A4 paper and scissors. Cut out a random wavy line to make a template of cartoony hills. If you cut it in the middle, you get 2. Now I'm right-handed, so this makes it hard to see, but I'm holding up the template and just following the line with straight up green airbrush, not lime. Make sure your cake is completely dry before doing this bit. For a better view, I have lots of other tutorials on this airbrush technique on my channel. Just colour in with your airbrush below that line to make it darker. Then cover your board in green paste. This is Renshaw's Lincoln Green. If you're new here and haven't seen the toilet seat method in all its glory, it's linked below for you. Then roll out a strip of caramel brown coloured paste and place it in the centre all the way around. Press down the edges to soften them and make the edge more uneven and organic. Then with your Dresden tool, score in some wiggly lines. For the tree trunk, roll out a tapered sausage of dark brown and attach it to the cake, bending the top over. Add in another branch below it. You won't see this much, so don't worry about it being perfect. Pull out the base of the tree and score it harshly for texture and shape. For the walls, roll out some grey paste. It doesn't have to be marble, but it doesn't hurt it either. Keep it quite chunky. Then take a stone texture mat. Your favourite will do. This one is a Katie Sue mat. Press or roll the impression in and then cut the bottom flat and create your own sized wall by following the edges of the bricks to cut them out. Clean up the edges with your finger before pressing in the brick lines on the sides with the Dresden tool. Make a couple of these. Dampen the back with water and stick them into place around the bottom tier. Dowel your bottom tier so it takes the weight of the top one. My top tier is 5-inch, so I'm using 6 straws. Spread a little ganache for glue. Gently lower your 5-inch cake on top. This has already been pre-covered in baby blue. To add grass, dampen the area and stick on a lump of green paste. Any shape will do. Then take that star tip that you never really pipe with and stab and twist the paste to get a fluffy-like texture. Another technique, if you don't have that, is a Dresden tool. Just swirl the paste with that to create a more open texture. Add in more bushes and grass around the tier, alternating the techniques for interest. For the tree, roll out thin tapered sausages and pull diagonally down with the sharp end of the Dresden tool. This creates tiny spikes. Then do the exact same on the other side. Stick these dangling from the branches with water and layer them up until it's full. Regular viewers will have seen this many times, but trace your chosen text onto some greaseproof paper and hold it into position with some acupuncture needles. Trace around the lettering with a Dresden tool to leave an impression. Then go over it with your paint of choice. Dampen around the base of the top tier and stick down a band of green paste all the way around. Texture this with either the piping tip or the Dresden tool. Jane and Michael's kite was green, so we're going to cut this out of a thin piece of paste. If you're not confident doing it freehand, you can use a template. Add this to a foam pad to firm up whilst we cut a red kite and a yellow kite in the same size. Cut each of these kites into 4 pieces and then stick them back together again in alternative colours, so you end up with 2 patterned red and yellow kites. Cut out more in various colours and score them in the centres. Jane and Michael's has a yellow trim, so stick the green onto the yellow and cut around it. Arrange them however you like around the top tier. Finally, finish them off by painting on the tails and bows. Now I'm going to skip over this horse part as you can't get this exact mould, it's a prototype. You can, however, get many similar ones online if you so wish. I get asked about this one a lot, but I'll keep you updated when and if it comes available. But I've made it in lilac and now I'm just adding on extra darker purple to his tail and mane. Stick him on the front between the tree and the wall and make another one for the back of the cake. For the carousel pole, roll out a thin string of yellow paste and fold it in half. Roll one end up and the other end down to create a twisted effect. Chop this down to size and add it above and below the horse. Squash a ball of paste onto the top of the pole and paint it all gold. To paint with, I'm using sugar flared gel colours mixed with some white powder to make it opaque. It's all listed below for you. Add swirls to the body and some straps around the nose and belly, white flowers and green leaves. For the seat, roll a long teardrop and press it at the base of the pole. To age the wall, water down some black paint until it's thin and paint in the gaps of the bricks. Fold some kitchen towel and dab off the excess, which will create further texture. Make the heads in advance by using 3cm polystyrene balls and a matching size ball of flesh paste. Push the ball into the paste and bring it up around it until it's all encased. I somehow managed to make some perfect lips. Roll the ball between your hands to get rid of the seams and insert a cocktail stick in the centre. Make 4 altogether. Michael's legs are tapered white pieces of paste chopped at either end and 2 balls of flesh flattened onto the wide part. His shorts were just a sausage of paste bent in half and then chopped flat. You want to stick them to the ledge of the tier. Push the flesh against one of the openings and it creates the illusion of shorts, knees and long white socks. Add small white ovals to the ends of the legs for shoes. His body is like a little marshmallow chopped flat on the bottom. Mark in a V shape on the top and a line straight down for the front of the jacket. His arms are simple little sausages cut flat and stuck with water, and his hands are squashed balls of white for gloves. To keep his other arm up, twist a cocktail stick down through it and into his body and chop off the excess. Gently push one of the heads down. The stick should go through his body and hold him onto the cake. Michael's outfit had blue and yellow stripes, so paint those on his jacket with a fine paintbrush. His bow tie is made up of 2 chunky triangles stuck together under his chin and finished off with a ball in the centre. Cut a circle of pale brown paste and wrap that round the back of his head, pulling the excess up to a point and snipping it off with scissors. Pull in some detail with a Dresden tool. Squash down a chunky white disc of paste for his hat and add it to his head. Roll a strip of white and wind it around the base for the brim. Add on his pupils with black dots, a smile and eyebrows with black paint, and don't forget those tiny white catchlights. Jane's legs start out similar, but longer white cones. Place these on the other side of the ledge and add her shoes. Jane's skirt is kept chunky on one end and the other fanned and thinned out between your fingers. The chunkier end is her bum and the thinner area is the bottom of her skirt. Her body is also a marshmallow, slightly pinched in the middle. The sleeves are small ovals with one end flattened out. Add in some thin sausages of flesh for arms and finished off with white circles for gloves. Flatten a disc of paste on the neck for her ruffles before adding her head. Jane has yellow detail, so paint this on the collar, skirt, sleeves and waist. Her hair starts out more like a castle door shape. Position this behind her head, again pulling up the excess to trim off. Add detail to the front with rolled tapered sausages bent into a slight wave shape and a short piece for the fringe. Jane's hat, eyes and mouth are done in the same way, but with added tiny squashed ovals of pink for the cheeks. Bert's legs is made from a folded sausage of paste chopped flat at the ends. Shoes are the same white ovals and body a pinched in marshmallow shape. In fact, he's done very similarly to Michael, but with red and yellow stripes instead and a straw hat. Add in a yellow strip and a thinner red one to finish the hat off. He also has a baby blue bow tie and the same eyes and mouth. We need to extend Mary's body, so you could use a kebab stick instead if you wish. I'm just going to tape on an extra cocktail stick to the bottom of mine. Push her down in the middle of the top tier. Stretch a piece of paste so it's thin at the top and then flattens out at the bottom like this. Then chop it straight down the centre. Add these to either side of the stick and then push them back together enclosing it. Push in 2 marks to make heels. Whilst the boots dry, we will work on the penguins. Gently squeeze a black ball of paste so it's dumpier at either end. Roll the largest end over your finger to create a little dip. Cut out a thin piece of white paste roughly the same shape, a bit like a Cluedo play piece. Attach this to the front and pat it down. A small sausage of black paste can be added to the top and flattened for extra detail. Roll out a small oval of orange paste and add it to the base of that black piece for a beak. Again, 2 small balls for eyes. His feet are orange teardrop shapes, flattened and pushed on the base of the penguin. Paint a line across his neck and add a black bow tie. Flippers are just teardrops of black on either side of the body. Make 2 more penguins and gather them near the tree. I decided I liked the edge on a kite, so made an extra red one to add under the name. Cut out the number with your tappets or click sticks and paint it in gold. Now for Mary's body. Squash the white paste into a dress shape, fanned at the bottom and narrow at the top. Chop the whole thing in half so you have a front and a back. Stick the back onto the support with water and then sandwich the front on, pinching the joints together down the sides. Trim off any excess with a scalpel and smooth it all out. Mark in a waist and skirt pleats. Arms again are sausages and flattened balls for gloves. Cut out a strip from red that has a V in the middle and wrap it around your waist. To hold her arms up as they dry, fold up some kitchen towel and tuck it underneath. Mary's hair is a dark brown circle with 2 small sausages curving at the front. Her hat is a large circle of white with a shallow, smaller circle on top of it. Paint on her smile in red and add cute closed eyes in black paint. To finish her hat, cut out a long tapered strip. Attach the large end to her hat and the skinny end under her chin. If her arms are dry, you can remove the towel and paint on white stripes. A small piece of paste is added on her chest and textured for extra detail. Always have to have space fillers. These are clumps of grass made by piling 3 tapered sausages together and cutting the bottom flat. Add them all around the cake. Extra depth can be created by airbrushing green onto the board, the bushes and the trees. Lastly, as my camera died, I added white clouds to the top tier. Mary Poppins won this week in the Instagram tutorial battle. I'll pop my username on screen if you want to pop over there and give me a follow and see what other tutorials are available in my stories. Hope you enjoyed this one. There was lots to fit in. If you'd like to support further tutorials just like this one, you can do that for free by sharing this video in your cake groups or social media. Or you can even buy one of my new enamel pins up in my shop. The link to that is in the description box below. Thanks guys!